seeing my head. Hi. I'm going to pull you guys up, make sure you can see me this morning. Welcome to my Coffee and Craft Facebook Live. We are on, I guess this is technically week 3. Although I think the first week was only 3 days because I started on a Wednesday. So, but week 3, that's exciting. Let me make sure I can see you, or you can see me, I should say. And I can see you when you comment. Okay, let's see. This was not on my page. I hope you all had a good weekend. Oh, I saw, okay, I think I'm live. I think just need to make sure you can see my head. Hold on. Ah! Okay, well, I'm waiting for this. I'm going to have some coffee. I feel like I'm very close to my camera right now. So I planned out kind of the next month of Facebook Lives this weekend, which was very exciting. So I kind of have an idea of what's coming up. What are we going to be doing? So this week, I think before the holiday catalog comes out, I want to spend some time focusing on other stuff before we get into like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Halloween and all that stuff. If you're watching from the States or other places in Canada, we celebrate Thanksgiving in October, usually early October. So you're going to see lots of Thanksgiving stuff from me coming up pretty early, kind of end of August-ish, maybe even next week if I get my supplies earlier. I've planned like a whole table setting series, some cards, tree packaging, all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm really excited to get started with that. This week I think we're going to focus on birthdays, get some birthday cards done and some gift bags and tags and fun stuff. So that way I can kind of dive into Thanksgiving and making sure you guys are all set for Thanksgiving. So you have time to order and not stress about how much time you have to get everything done. Alright, so yeah. I did make a post about the starter kit if you want to get your holiday supplies in August and not wait till September. Definitely get on that starter kit. It's a great deal. If I could get it again, I would. But I can't. You're getting like $205 worth of stuff for $135, and that includes tax and shipping. So you're saving like $120 right off the bat, and then you're going to get your 20% discount for like the next 5 to 6 months. I think, well, until January, I guess. So guaranteed. Yeah, and you don't have to sell anything. You just get the discount on your own stuff for the holidays. So you're all set for a great handmade holiday season. Anyways, send me a message if you're interested in that. I can fill you in all the details. There's no catch, I promise, I swear. That's not what we're about here or at Stampin' Up. Okay, so let's get started on our card. I pulled up, sometimes when I'm stuck for ideas, I will go on Pinterest and look up card sketches. Not actual cards, although sometimes some catch my eye. I like to kind of come up with my own ideas. But I do sometimes like a good card sketch. So that's what I did last night, this morning at some point. Was pull up some card sketches for birthday cards. Mostly because I wanted to show you guys some of our really nice papers. So we're going to be working with the Mosaic Mood papers today. Now these were actually free. They were a giveaway at Stampin' Up conference I attended in April. So I did not pay for these beautiful papers. You get lots of free stuff when you go to conferences. That's very nice. We call them on stage. That's what we call ours. But I'm going to turn you around so you can see the paper and see the card. And I will give you the dimensions as we go along. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You need a paper trimmer to keep your angle square for the paper. And I don't think we need scissors today. I think everything I did with the paper trimmer. And then we'll do some super simple stamping, and that'll be it. And we'll have a nice, lovely birthday card. Okay, so I'm going to turn you guys around, and we'll get started. Our spin here. Okay, how are we? And yes, if you noticed, my craft room is a disaster this morning. There wasn't much time for tidying this weekend. Alright, so here we have our papers. So as you can see, I've been playing with this a little bit. I had another card that I posted on my blog that I used these papers in, which was a fussy cutting card. So it's called Mosaic Mood for a reason. It is a specialty paper, so it's got some shine to it. So if you see some reflection, that's why. Let me turn the light on. You guys can see. There we go. Okay. So some of these papers are actually quite shimmery and shiny. Like glossy, I should say. They don't have like a sparkle to them. It's more of a gloss. Okay, so they're all double-sided. So we have some fun roses and butterflies, some leaves, some like arches and tiles, and like more like straight tile. Inlay patterns, these ones I showed you. Again, this pattern but in different colors. I really like this. Is the new terracotta tile. Mint macaron, like soft suede, and so saffron maybe? Or crushed curry. Or yellows. There's nice patterns. I really love the pink roses. We're going to actually use that in our card today. Some yellow leaves. Saw a really nice scrapbook page this morning that used these papers. And then some hummingbirds, which are kind of with yellow. Some dots. But then we have our multicolored hummingbirds coming up, which I'm not using on this card. I did use them on another card. And again, these are glossy as well. And then another kind of arch pattern there. So that's the Mosaic Mood paper. They are part of a suite in the holiday catalog, so they do come with stamps and dies and other fun things. Maybe even is there a punch? I think there might be a punch also. That goes with that. So for our card, let's get started. We are going to be using very vanilla cardstock. This is our heavy cardstock, which is fantastic for card bases. So I went ahead and cut and scored mine ahead of time just to save time with you guys. So we have, what am I doing? 5.5 by 8.5. So we have our 4 1/4 by 5.5 card base. And then we have our card mat in terracotta tile. So this is cut to 4 by 5 1/4, so 4 by 5 1/4. So I took a 1/4 inch off each side. Okay. And then we have our pieces of designer series paper. Now a lot of card sketches do not have measurements on them. This one that I had pulled up actually did, which was cool. So I'm just gonna stick that up on the screen here so I can tell you and not get everything confused. Okay, so this is how we're gonna lay out our pieces. So these are my pre-cut pieces for our card front. So we have this piece, which is 1.5 inches by 1 3/4 inches. And that's going to go in this top corner. Then we have this 2 1/4 by 1 3/4 piece. Sorry, 1 3/4 by 2 1/4 piece. That's going to go up here beside it. And then we have our 1.5 by 3 1/4 piece, which is going to go down here. And then I have a 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece, which is going to go down here. So that's how we're going to start laying this out. I'm going to grab my glue. And it is a heavier paper, so that's why I'm not using a snail. The specialty paper is heavier, and then we're gluing on a heavier cardstock. So glue is almost done. I don't know if it's done, I didn't put the lid on it, so it's mad at me. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to use my glue, and then that way it gives me some kind of space to move it around a little bit if I need to. Line this up so I'm going to have good edges. Okay. So I thought that the mosaic paper kind of went with the theme of this card with all the different pieces. This is why I chose it. I was like, oh, the tile element. Okay. Also, it's like super fun and quick to make. Okay. We're going to use our leaves. I could have used 3 different patterns, but I really like the leaf, especially because I'm featuring this rose in the middle. This paper's actually grown on me a lot since I got it. Okay. Okay, so we have our 4 pieces just laid out on our mat, and then we're going to add our rose. I think I want it facing up on a mat, on a very vanilla mat on the top. So the mat is 2.5 by 2.5, and then our paper is cut by 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I just kind of cut my paper so that I had a little bit of an edge on the rose, and then measured 2 1/4 over and cut it off so that my rose was kind of framed, and I did the same sides. So if you will, just a tip for getting your rose center, just kind of pick just off the side of your paper, off your rose, and then you can measure from one side to the other. Okay. I'm just going to center that on my very vanilla here. Side of the card, you can stamp it on your base. I like to always stamp my inside stuff on. Sorry, my computer just went to sleep on me. Okay, just turning that back on like a scrap piece of paper or card, just in case I mess up the stamp. I don't want to mess up my whole card or my whole card base, so I always stamp on an extra piece and then just adhere it to the inside. Normally I use white, but because we're using very vanilla card today, I thought, let me just stamp it on a scrap piece of cardstock, and then I can just stick that in there. Okay, so I'm going to stamp our sentiment in terracotta tile. And so yeah, so this piece I cut to 3 1/4 by 1 inch, which was a little bit bigger than the measurement. By the way, you can find the sketch for this card pinned on my Pinterest page, which is the same as my business page, so Ink and Inspiration. I have all my counts under the same thing. All right, so there is our happy birthday. And where did my rose go? Did it get stuck to my stamp set? Yeah, it did. Okay, it ran away. Okay, so let me just pull you guys up. I'm sorry if I missed some comments. Oh, I think we're all right. Okay. Back. Okay. Sorry, I just want to check, make sure I didn't miss any comments, or I was looking at the measurements to tell you. All right, I think we're all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this put together. Again, I'm going to use my liquid glue because it's heavier. Right. So, okay, a little bee in the middle there, and I'm just going to center this, sort of. I think I have it offset a little bit, but that's okay if I do. I think that's center. There we go. Our line is offset, but I think that's center. I think that's straight. Okay. Then I'm going to add my happy birthday. What do I have? Sorry, I'm just wondering what I have embellishment-wise. We have these woven threads, sequin assortment, and they are in our in colors, and I just want to see if use my take my pick tool and see if I want to throw some on this card after. I plan to, but could be a nice little. Yeah, I think I will. Okay. Yes, take your pick. This little putty tip is so handy for picking up like this stuff. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I don't want to spill it, so I'm just going to put the lid on until we get our base on, and then I will add. Okay, so let me put this on. I'm just going to do that. It looked a little blurry when I'm looking back at it, so that was my hand trying to see if that made a difference. Okay, let's put this on now. That's centered. Okay, maybe it's just my computer being sketchy on me. Okay. Alright. Okay, and then let's put it on our base. She really loved this card. Really pretty. Really simple to make. Okay. This is one that you could like copy and do a bunch of. I think I got some ink off my finger there. I'm just going to use this to rub it away a little bit. Okay, it's fine. Alright, so then let's do our inside sentiment. Actually, you know what? I think I'll stamp it on. That's going to look a little funny. I'm going to stamp it on some printer paper. Grab a sheet. This to 4, 5.25. You can see the measurements on there. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to stamp my inside on this. That way I don't have to worry about messing it up. Or wasting a card. I suppose if I messed it up, I could cover it after the fact, but I'd rather just... Oh, okay, so here is the inside. So this is what our wood blocks used to be. So if you happen to buy some used, you know what you're getting. You put them together, so you would peel off... Just want to make sure that I'm putting this... You kind of piece them all together so you have them on the right size, and then put your stamp on one side and your label on the other. I kind of went back and forth between our clear mount and our wood mount. Eventually I think I settled on the wood mount for a while. In terms of using them, I like them better. In terms of selling them, they're a little bit harder because you can't really, they're expensive to mail if you want to mail them to anybody, if you decide you want to sell it. But anyways, we have now switched to all cling, which solved both the problems. So now they stick to the box and take up less space and don't use trees. It's fantastic. Okay. And you can mail them if you decide you want to sell yourself. Okay. So voila. Okay, so there is our inside stamp set. And where did I do with my ink? This looks really blurry on my screen. I'm really hoping that's not how it's coming through for you guys, because I can't even read my stamp set on my computer screen. I don't know why it's like that. I'll have to watch the replay and hopefully that's fixed. I don't know why it looks like that. Just gonna stamp this now. Voila. Okay, and this one I will use my snail for. This is just a really light sheet of printer paper. This one's done. Where's my other one? Put a refill in that one. Voila. Alright, let's add a couple little embellishments on here. So I have one. Where should we stick them? That'll dry clear. So. Okay, and then let's do another one. 5. Nope. Bigger ones you can use glue dots for if you want. Smaller ones, just use some more glue. And teeny tiny one. Where do I want to put it? I do this every time, don't I? Right there. Get it off. Putty is great for holding it really well. But if it's not stuck, come on. Okay. There we go. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to let that dry. Enough glue there. Beautiful. Alright, so there's our card.